try to be that. So who's having a good time? Anybody? There we go. So before I start talking, I just want everybody to raise their hands of who has been affected by suicide. Personally. Okay, so we got some hands in the air. All right. So I'm going to share a little bit of a story about me, and hopefully it leaves a little impact on you guys. So, hello. My name is Jonathan Lambert, and I felt called here today because the topic of suicide is close to my heart. I am here to share a powerful story with you. So back in high school, I created a metal band. It was a space where introverts could get together, scream, and make noise. A safe haven to express ourselves with total authenticity. School never really resonated with me, so that circle of friends became my lifeline. I became especially close with my drummer, Brandon, where we met weekly to sonically bond, and it showed me what true friendship was. Brandon was the ultimate jokester. He made me laugh all the time, the guy who lived to make people laugh. He was unbelievably talented, a bit socially awkward, and deeply caring. To this day, I consider him my best friend. I'll never forget the time we got T-boned by a semi-truck, and because we got deep in conversation, and we got out of the wreck to find his drum kit turned to dust, and he just looked at me completely unfazed, and he goes, "Dude, you just destroyed my drum kit." So we never got through a jam session without a slice of pizza and some Mountain Dew. So for 4 years, we were like brothers, but then I noticed a sudden shift. I was becoming less passionate about music, and I got a job and became so intensely focused on being the quote-unquote successful, successful young adult, as we say. And that was slowly where I started to forget my creative self. In doing that, I am consciously pulled away from our creative sanctuary, and around that time, Brandon had a complete mental breakdown. I went to see him, and that vibrant jokester was gone. He was isolated in his room. He looked like he hadn't showered in a week. His eyes were closed, and he seemed heavily medicated, defeated, and overwhelmed. He was working a new food industry job, and they were forcing him to work the front counter, which was his absolute nightmare. And that was a time when he was confused by life and confessed his suicidal ideations with me. At that time, I simply didn't understand the depth of what he was going through or how to help. Looking back, I could see how deeply he was searching for purpose in the world, and at that moment, he taught me just how critical it was to show up for one another. A day after his breakdown, my father picked me up early from work, the very job that was pulling me away from Brandon. And right there in the car, my dad broke the news that the person that I thought was my best friend took his life. Only a month later, I was sitting on the BOCES school bus when the principal announced over the speakers that another close friend of mine had taken his own life as well. There were no counselors ready for us to handle this grief. Losing them created a massive ripple effect. Standing in the wake of that loss, I often reflected, how does someone so young even begin to process such heavy thoughts? At our core, we all just want to wake up knowing that we were put on this earth for some sort of reason. That experience reshapes how I navigate the world every day as I surround myself with solid people, focus on how to truly show up for others, and dedicate my life to community work. I've never shared this publicly before, but I'm standing here today because I feel like no one should walk through that sort of grief alone. Through all of this, I've learned that often the most outwardly positive and energetic people, the jokesters in the room, are the ones hiding the deepest pain. So support doesn't have to be some sort of grand, complicated gesture. It can be as simple as being the friend who truly listens, or being the person who educates themselves on mental health resources in our community. And that life-saving support and inner strength need to be at your fingertips. So look out for each other. Thank you, and have a good night.